Hey, I'm Myers, and I'm sitting here listening to a test pressing of the new Brad Marino that's coming out on Sioux. Don't know why I have this one because it's not the next one I should be getting. I still haven't seen the test pressing for the Richard Duguay album, or Richard Duguay 45. We're doing a 45 with him, and it's called Fuck You Fame Whore, which I don't know what he means by that. I don't know. I'm used to a more subtle message than "fuck you, fame whore," but no, it sounds fucking great. And then on the B side of that, he's got Pat Todd playing harmonica on it. Fucking sounds great. You guys are going to love it. So I haven't heard the test pressing of that. I haven't heard the test pressing of Wrong Beach. I haven't heard the test pressing of Hammered Saints, which all those are in order before this one. So I don't know why I just got this test pressing and I haven't heard those test pressings yet. But anyways, yeah. Excited about stuff coming on the label, and the truth of the matter is, the label, I've really been throwing myself in the label since Ashley died, and because I believe in this shit. I believe in these bands, and these guys won't be on my fucking label if I didn't believe in them. And like I said in a video the other day, I kind of feel like Little League coach working with these bands, but I mean, yeah, I love it, glad to be doing this, and so. Anyways, other stuff going on. Ron and I went up the cities the other day, and Ron and I are different people. Rhonda is more mainstream than I am, and I grew up in a punk rock club, and so I asked her if she ever read Catcher in the Rye, and she said no, and I tried to explain it to her, and if you've never read it, it's kind of like it's about a fucked up kid who he wants to grow up faster than what he's actually growing up. He wants to be an adult. He wants to do his own thing. He wants to have romantic relationships, but he's a kid, so like the people he's interested in are too young to be having romantic relationships, and and I remember feeling that like when I was a teenager, having crushes on girls that whatever, and so anyways, like I was telling Rhonda about, like, the crux of it though, is this dream in the book where he describes these kids, this vision of these kids playing in this tall grass, this field of tall rye grass, and they're playing and they're having fun and they're giggling, and but these kids, they don't know that this field is on the edge of a cliff, and so he kind of sees it as his job to let these kids play and have fun and be themselves, but he needs to catch them so they don't run off the edge of the cliff, hence the title Catcher in the Rye. But since my daughter died in February, it's made me a lot softer. It's made me a lot more compassionate, a lot more, I just, my daughter was a trans woman, and I never knew much about trans people until my daughter came out. And my daughter came out, and it's like, okay, what do I need to find out about this and be an advocate for the trans community? And not just the trans community, but the entire LGBTQ LGBTQ community I'm an advocate for. And, you know, I've been thinking, I was talking to Rhonda about Catcher in the Rye, and it's like, you know, I feel like Holden Caulfield. And that's just kind of where I'm at right now, is I feel like Holden Caulfield. But, anyways, you know, throwing myself in the record label, super excited about records coming out. You know, I hope you guys dig these records that we're putting out. And, you know, I'm working on some other stuff. Like, you know, for a while, I mean, I started this last fall. I started writing a deal. I don't know what I'm writing. I don't know if it's a book or. I kind of see it as being like a streaming TV series about the dying days, the last days of the outlaw truck drivers in the 1990s, and you know, like truck driving stuff I've seen is not very representative of the trucking industry. You know, I mean, Smokey and the Bandit, or BJ and the Bear, or, you know, there was a fucking terrible Patrick Swayze movie called Black Dog. Like Hollywood just doesn't understand the trucking industry. So, but, you know, it's stuff I grew up in, and, you know, I understand it, and, you know, like, I got a great story, and, you know, and I see it as being like a series to the fact that, like, you know, like, first episode would be introducing the main characters, and, you know, their troubled connection, and then, second episode's introducing more characters, and chapter 3 is, or episode 3 is introducing like the hero's journey story arc, and you know, so but yeah, it's stuff, you know, I'm familiar with, you know, growing up around the trucks, growing up in truck stop parking lots, and hearing stories, and you know, some of my heroes, you know, you guys would never know who some of my heroes are, but you know, the stories I heard about, you know, somebody drafted my dad so fucking close, he's rattling numbers off on the CB radio, and my dad says, "What are you talking about?" He says, "Oh, I'm reading the seal numbers off your trailer door." And yeah, it says, "God damn it, you're the only guy that ever let draft that fucking close." But one time when they were drafting real close in those old cab over trucks back in the 70s, come up over a hill, and there had been a truck tip over in Wisconsin, and there was a bull rack tipped over, and there was cows running all over my dad, you know, and it's foggy, and my dad comes over this hill in this fog and yells on the radio, "Cows, cows, cows!" And he couldn't just slam on the brakes because this guy's drafting him so fucking close, he would have rear-ended him. And you know, like, these guys had some adventures, and you know, so that's why I'm writing about it. And, you know, like, I started going in the truck when I was 4. First time I went to California, I was 4 years old, and my dad showed me America. It's fucking big, and it's beautiful, and it's exciting, and there's a rhythm to it. And if you've ever read On the Road by Jack Kerouac, you know, Jack Kerouac really fucking exemplifies that rhythm of the road. And you know, like, that's why I always felt the truck, you know, like, I always felt this exciting rhythm of, you know, and you'd be dog tired or whatever, but, like, there was always that excitement of, you know, we got to get to this next place, we got, you know, and eating off a roach coach out in the coast, or, you know, I mean, Pizza Man out in Salinas was, there's all these great stories of, having fun. And I remember being into, a cold storage we were dropping off in LA one time, and the security guard was a Hawaiian or a Polynesian guy, and he couldn't say ours, and so he calls my dad Wick. Hey, Wick! Hey, Ryan! And because we're Rick and Ryan, but the guy was a character, and so like I've met these characters all over the fucking world, all over the America, between here and LA and every place in between, and they're fun and they're exciting and they got stories, and somebody needs to tell their fucking stories, and so that's why I've been writing. I've been writing shit, inspired by like stories I heard from my great uncle Joe, who like Joe and my grandpa left home at the same time, and we're driving truck, the little kids driving truck from the dairy in Ponca to the creamery in Sioux City. And there wasn't even fucking roads then, man. These guys would bounce through the pasture, get to a pasture gate, get out of the truck, open the gate, get back in the truck, drive through the gate, get back out, have to close the pasture gate, and bounce to the next field. To do it all, like Joe said, it took all day to drive from Sioux City from Ponca to Sioux City, unload, reload, and drive back to Ponca. And like Joe said, if you had to take a piss, you put your toolbox on the gas pedal, step out on the running board because you didn't want to lose momentum at 5 miles an hour. Can you imagine that? A little kid standing there holding the tiller on the truck, and he's standing on the running board taking a piss going through a field. But that's what these guys did, because they were total fucking rebels. They were total cowboys, and to me that's exciting. And so I'm writing about it. And I'm writing it from a perspective of, being an advocate and being enthralled with that lifestyle. And, because, they're heroes, so, and that's just me. I've always just been driven to do stuff, from starting a fanzine when I was 16 because I was bored to, just doing whatever, starting this, starting that, starting a pedal company, an amp company, starting a record label. I just fucking do shit because I'm bored, and nobody's ever told me no. Nobody's ever told me, like, you can't run a record label. Oh, people have. I mean, yeah. And I've done Sioux guitars a long time, and my dad still thinks it's a hobby. But anyways, that's another story for another time. But yeah, I do my own thing, and I just keep going. And so hope you dig this Brad Marino that's coming out. I'll do a better video, like a real video for when we go to release it. But yeah, hope you dig it. Thanks for watching this.